So I think the opportunity for Zaloni right now is kind of hit a perfect inflection point. Back in '09, Ben Sharma created Zaloni, and he created it before very many people knew what Hadoop was or what a data lake was going to be. So he's got a wild amount of experience, and he's built a very strong team of people that have been doing this forever. One of the things they noticed is if you want to take that data lake environment and put it into the enterprise and allow access to everyone that needs it, the governance, the access management, the data lineage, the data cataloging is the most important piece. So where a lot of organizations have created their data lake and they've just dumped everything into it, without the right metadata, it's become data swamps in just about every organization. So right now, we're at a point where the market need is there. People want access to their data in a governed way. Because at one point you could have a handful of people that were highly trained and really understood the data lake to access the data and to do some analytics on top of it. But now we want all the lines of business, people that might not have the years of experience inside of a data lake, to have access to this data. And to do that, to follow the same governance practices that people have gotten used to in their data warehouses, there has to be a tool like Bedrock and Mica to allow them to do that. And we're ahead of the market. So it's a pretty exciting time to be part of it. Well, it kind of rolls into, from the market being perfectly timed to making sure we manage our growth. So the inbound interest is, it's incredible. And as we're scaling out, we're having to make sure that we scale smartly. From the history of Zaloni, we kind of started out as a professional services organization that did a lot of work with Hadoop. Ben Sharma's goal was always to put the client first and to make sure the client gets what they need. That has stayed as part of the company's culture. And for us to be able to do that, we have to scale with the client in mind. The great part about the Series A investment from Baird and from Sierra Ventures is that we're able to scale with demand. So that was very important, it was necessary. I think that's probably our biggest challenge, just making sure we do that in the right way. I spent most of my life in North Carolina. Done a lot of traveling, did a little bit of moving outside, but always was kind of brought back where friends and family were close. Went to school at UNC Charlotte for business, studied, majored in business and minored in psychology and econ. It was that psychology piece that I always loved. That was almost a hobby within the school. I've always loved interacting with people, finding out how they're motivated, and kind of helping them gain that success and happiness by being challenged in the right way. So that was always my interest in college. And my hobbies, most of my time is spent with my family now. I've got 3 kids, 3 and under, and an awesome wife. We do a lot together. If I'm not doing that, it'll probably see me in some kind of outdoor competitive activity. I love mud runs, so Spartan races, Tough Mudders, or playing poker with friends. So I think the immediate answer that comes to mind is probably my grandfather on my dad's side. Never had the opportunity to meet him, but he was a decorated war veteran, and then he became a cop. And then after that, he went on to Shell Oil and was a businessman at Shell Oil for a long time. And that's probably the person that I'd want to meet. Favorite book would definitely be Extreme Ownership. That book, it's great because the premise of it is, if you're leading something, whether you're at the top or you're leading a project or you're an individual contributor like a sales rep that's leading a deal, you take full ownership for everything that happens. And the pushback is sometimes, well, there's no way I could have known that. There was no way I could have known that I was going to run into this regulation or that this issue was going to happen. And the premise of the book isn't so much to make you feel awful whenever you fail. It's more to help you learn from that failure. So when you failed at whatever you were trying to do, there may have been no way you could have known that the issue was going to come up. And you may have made the best decision at the time with the information you had. But if you could go back, if you could have convinced your bosses that that you really needed to take some action, if you would have given them more information to convince them to help the right thing to happen, or if you would have had the people on your team really understand the reason that you changed the comp plan or that you changed the account lists, and you kind of put it into the context of the broader story, you could have made the outcome positive. And it's about learning from that and just taking full ownership, either way, regardless of how it goes, regardless of why it went wrong, taking full ownership. It also talks a lot about whenever things go well, making sure that the people who made it happen get the credit. So that book is awesome. Ooh, that one's easy. A horse-sized duck, absolutely. At some point, that massive duck decided that it was the king of the jungle, king of the kingdom, and that it didn't have to fight anymore for food. It had no predators, and it's gotten weak, it's gotten soft. So I would take on that horse-sized duck. The other reason is those little horses running around, for them to survive, they work together, and they're scrappy, and they'll fight dirty. So definitely take out the duck, and then I'm pretty sure those little horses, seeing you take down that big duck, would want to partner with you instead of fight against you.